Good afternoon, Coach. I think my question is similar to my colleague, but I just want you to focus on a specific player. Maybe I'm a bit biased because I work closely with the league. Nkosi, the captain of the 3C, he's currently, or last season was the player of the season in that league. He wasn't, or maybe he was promoted, but he's not playing. How do you deal with such a player? Because I watch him week in, week out. He's like playing with kids in a Sunday league. How do you keep him motivated? Because I think he needs to go to the next level.
Fantastic question, and very, very nice moment to put it. As you understand, I've been opening a little bit the boundaries regarding commenting individual players here in South Africa, but well, not a problem. I'll speak about Ntando because he deserves. And he deserves because he's a very, very, very honest, humble, and quality player. If I would put you a message I have on my phone regarding his performance on that friendly match that was played, a message from my assistant coach that stayed here, Pedro, you would have the answer to that question. Because he told me, we have to give a chance to this boy. But it's important that you understand that this boy has on his position 2 international players. One is called Teboho Mokoene, the other one is Albas Motowi. So it's not easy for him to overcome that difficulty. I would like so much that we could finish the championship in a way that he can prove still himself in front of everybody in a championship match, because he has level to play PSL, no doubts. So I totally agree with what you say, that we should provide him in the future the right environment, context, so that he can continue his process of development. Playing on Diski in the moment, not only from him, but also from other players that have not regularly, but sometimes been taken there. Like even Maseko that played sometimes there. Tiwani sometimes went there. Kutluano sometimes went to play there. Mali, no, because Mali has been playing regularly with us. There's no sense. But it's also an opportunity we give to them to get the game time, so that when we call them, they are capable to perform. The other day I had a talk, a discussion. A discussion doesn't mean it's it's a good thing. A discussion has to do with taking opinions in the sense regarding exactly that process with Mr. Fleming. Because the fact that I put Kutluan a lot of time on the bench and I don't send him to play Diski doesn't allow him to have the stimulus of game he needs. So, for example, in the last match that we played, we didn't take Kutluano, not only because it was our option, but because we understood that he had to go to play. Because probably he would again stay on the bench. And we cannot make it to the young player to make him leave a season without having the chance to play regularly, whatever level it is. What we need to understand is what we're going to do during that season and what we're going to do in the next one. Because there's a clear raise, a clear level that must be augmented in order to promote the player to the level we want. And not only having him training regularly in the highest level, that's what Ntando is doing. He's proving himself every day in the middle of high-level players. That also is a stimulus of growth. But also he also needs to prove himself in the competitive levels, games, because this kid also faces some interesting games. We've been watching them. I saw them live, but I see a lot of them because I'm always provided a resume of the players' actions, so I always take a look on these actions. And the growth of a player is also emotionally, how he deals with the emotions of playing there, how he has to overcome the difficulties. Ntando already made some mistakes this season regarding that, but the fact that he had that mistakes and that we work on them is also a matter of a way of him to grow for the level that he needs to be on in the future. Well, let's see what will be his next step and how we'll work with him in the end of the season towards his development, and also let's see what will happen until the end of the season.
Greetings, Coach. Chogozisi from Far Post. Coach, I think I've asked you this question before at the start of your time in Sundowns, but obviously things have changed now, and now that you've been here for a while. having to work with such a big squad, you obviously have players that are quality, they know they can play elsewhere, but they may not get chances to play because you've got players that are competitive and doing very well. How are you managing players that are not getting as much game time?
Yeah, it's a tough job. It's a tough job mostly because you love everybody, you like them so much. And there were moments, even when you gave not many minutes, but the answers in general from the players were good. It means that you stay attached to that performance, and sometimes you want to please them, but you cannot, because the rules of the game are so clear. And the fact that some players, they raise their hands also make the other ones have to get out or to go out of the list on a regular basis. I think we spoke a lot about Neo in the past. He went for national team, he made 2 very good games, and Neo got a space again in the squad. So sometimes it's just a matter of also having an opportunity. But when we had a feature much more congestion, it was more simple because we had to rotate players, so they would have an opportunity. But at the same time, when you have so many matches, you don't train a lot. And when you don't train a lot, also you don't have opportunities for the players to show themselves to the coach in the training sessions. So that's a process that is really not easy. It's really not easy. And we have 2 more players that will join the group, that are already joining the group almost normal. That is Motobi and Temba. So 2 more to make, between commas, confusion in all of this situation. But also I want to praise the attitude that the players have in the group, because they really keep their level on the training sessions, what gives a lot of comfort to the coach. I strongly believe that in other contexts, it means eventually in other countries, by the culture, by the way of being of the players, it would be very difficult to have such a big group of players. But here, by the level of education I found in the club and in the country in general, by the way people understand also how should be the behavior in a group and how they protect the values of the group and the interests of the club and the group itself and of the players, keeps me a lot, makes me the job easier, let's say. I thought I would struggle much more. In the beginning, I thought it would be so difficult for myself. But you understand that there are always small issues. There are always small issues. We had Moreno was out, then he came, he performed in such level, and then he got a small thing again in the home match with Esperance, and he had to go out again. So we needed, and Zuko was out. He played 3 games. In the last one, he made a wonderful performance, and he got injured. Now he's back. He was on the bench in the match with Esperance, the second match. And there was a moment I was about to put him to play, both him and Tiwani, because when I said that the team was needing stability, I don't know, the people that was there maybe understood. I was a little bit stressed on that moment, how to make the decision of how I can give stability to the team, how I reinforce the team, how I help the boys inside, by not taking out the possibility of arriving on the goal of Esperance, so keeping threats over Esperance so that they would not come with everything they could give in terms of offensive actions. So it means that we trust them. They understand that we trust them. They understand that one of the values we have inside the team is trust. So it's not by the fact that they are not in the team in 1 game, 2 games or 3 games, that if I need to put a player in the 4th game, I will put it. What I need is have him physically under condition so that he can perform, because I know that in terms of technical and tactical approach, they can give the answer. Yesterday I received a report about the state of the players, all of them, who we have in this level, who we have there, what we have to do during this week so that these players can be available for you, for me, coach. And this is also the work of the people that is behind me, from the fitness department, let's say. And it's very important because like that you're always balancing the players so that you have availability and choice. Because you also don't want the players to go on the pitch and don't have conditions to perform. For example, as you understood, I protected Tashrik during the period of Ramadan, because in the beginning he was okay, but he dropped clearly his level. and we had to protect him because he's such a detailed, physically very detailed and very particular player that we cannot expose him to bad performance. So we had to protect him so that he would keep his level protected, because he's a high level player for us. Now he's completely different moment, and then he joined the team again. So it's also the job of the coach, first make them believe, grow the trust between ourselves, and prove it. Because sometimes coaches, they say, I trust everybody, but when the moments come, he don't put the players to play. But I think I proved myself that I trust everybody there, because even if in the moment they are not playing, they already played, it means that I trust it. And that I keep saying to them every day.
Okay, we are wrapping up now. Is your question a Sunday question or
Yes,
it's a Sunday?
I think it was some.
Since you are now online.
Yes, Sunday. Thanks for
Sunday, okay. This one is embargoed for Sunday.
Congratulations, coach, for reaching the semi-finals of the Champions League, and also congratulations for improving to second position on the rankings. You mentioned it briefly a few minutes ago. I just wanted you maybe to educate us a little bit, because I only know that you got 3 points for reaching the semi-finals, and you were a few points behind Esperance in the rankings. How does it work? Well, was it helped by the performances of Pirates and Stellenbosch as well?
No, I don't know exactly how works the rankings in Africa. But it's good that you push it, because I would like to congratulate Stellenbosch and Orlando Pirates to also have gone through the fourth finals of their competitions, of Pirates in the Champions League and Stellenbosch on the Conference League. It's fantastic for South African football. I think we are living a good moment for South African football with the performance of the first team, national team. We have the under-17s performing very good also. We have the teams, the clubs performing at a good level. So I think we should all be happy and take it as a moment not to stand still but to move forward. Because we should always understand that sometimes when people achieve results, they think that they've done everything. No, it has a lot to do. We're just in the starting point of what might be, I believe, not the starting point, but in the path, what might be in the future even more strong South African football. We've been discussing that a lot when we meet in the press conference about things that can be done to increase the level of South African football. And it's very beautiful to see that there's already a level that is being showcased in the matches we've been playing. I remember I played the semi-finals of UEFA Europa League when I was assistant coach in Braga, and that time there were 3 Portuguese teams. It was a semi-final that was played between Braga and Benfica, and Porto played Villarreal, I think, and then the final was Braga-Porto. So in that moment in Portugal, it was a wonderful sports moment, let's say, in general. And from there were measures that were taken to try to repeat that. It never happened still, but Portuguese teams develop a lot also. And I think, it would be fantastic, obviously, if we could play Pirates in the final. And it's very nice because everybody stayed curious about what me and José, we were speaking in the end of the match we played in Pirates. And people saying, oh, no, that was before the match because Coach Miguel left the pitch and never came back again. He was so pissed off. And you just need to understand that it's not the way exactly that coaches relate with each other in general. You also saw me speaking nicely with Coach Moncova after a match that also I didn't win. I have a big respect for people that is behind the coach, but I also have respect for my emotions, so sometimes I need to back off to cool down some emotions so that I can keep the level I think is important to have in face of everybody. And that is just the thing and nothing more. And in that talk, one of the things that he told me was, we're going to meet in the final, I hope so. That I told him back, I hope so. We have both a big challenge ahead. I think that you understand the level of responsibility we have, but we'll try to do our best to give that good moment for South African football. And let's hope. Let's see.
reminder, that one is embargoed for Sunday. So, and Tiseto,
Maybe I'm the one that is taking the questions for the other side. I really apologize for that.
Question, last one, Sunday Times.
Coach Sazia, there was an entertaining rivalry that was already developing between you and Coach Roberto. How did you receive the news that the fact that he's going to be leaving at the end of the season, and how much of a loss it will be for South African football?
Well, I think I'm not the best person to speak about it because sometimes football changes in 2 minutes. Let's wait and see what will happen at the end of the season to everybody in South African football and to all the coaches, because life of coaches is so brief and we never know what is going to happen. What I think that is important that everybody understands it, that having foreign coaches or national coaches has nothing to do with the level of them, has just to do with the fact that people want to have a different perspective on the game and bring it together. It has been as tough playing matches against South African coaches as foreign coaches. Jose is doing a wonderful job here. Coach Nabi has a very tough job ahead. He has been coping with it, but very tough. Just we all understand that clearly regarding what he's trying to raise in Kaizer Chiefs, and myself trying to cope with the responsibility that I received from the previous ones. I think that we are giving our best to help South African football, and myself, I'll continue to do my best in order to keep my path on that way, because if I do it, it means that one day when I'll go away, you will remember me as someone that left something. That's basically the legacy is the most important thing you can leave behind. It will speak for you, and people, sorry for what I'm going to say, but people that was in Tunisia with us understood what is a legacy regarding what I left there. So, and that is the most important thing for a coach. I really want one day to be remembered by something different, and by what you win, of course, because then that's important.